I bet you didn't know that Beauty and the Beast was based on a true story. Hey, it's Mel. Today we're going to be talking about the true story of Beauty and the Beast. Now, we all know the Disney animated film which came out in 1991. I love that film. That is probably my favourite Disney film of all times. We all know the classic tale of Beauty and the Beast about a girl called Belle who goes to rescue her father from a castle after he went on a trip, got caught in a storm and took shelter in this castle, only to find out that it is occupied by inanimate objects such as a candlestick, a chipped teapot, and a clicking clock, along with a terrifying beast. The beast was in his previous life a prince who had a curse put on him by an old woman due to his ways of living and selfishness. This curse could be lifted if the beast found true love. Now, when Belle goes to save her dad, she tells the beast that she will take her father's place and be a servant in the castle. Now, soon the beast and Belle fall in love, and meanwhile, concerned for his daughter and believes she's in trouble, so he tells the village of the beast, and Gaston, who is in love with Belle, ends up going to rescue her, only to get in a fight with the beast, and the townspeople go with him. The film ends with the beast killing Gaston and Belle running to the beast's sides to comfort him as he lies there dying. However, Belle kisses him, confesses her love, and the beast transforms into a prince. Along with the inanimate objects turning back into people, the prince changes his ways, marries Belle, and the two live happily ever after. However, I bet you didn't know that that story is actually based off of the Petrus Gonsalves. Petrus Gonsalves was born in Spain in 1537. He suffered from a rare condition known as hypertrichosis, which is a condition where hair grows at a fast pace on the body and face, despite a person's gender or age. Due to Petrus's appearance, he was given the nickname the Man of the Woods, and throughout the majority of his life he was treated poorly. Beauty and the Beast was first mentioned by a French female writer known as, I'm definitely going to butcher this name, Gabrielle Suzanne Barbot de Villeneuve. Yeah, I don't think I said that right, but here's her full name. And she mentioned this tale in a story of hers which was published in 1740. In France, 1547, Petrus first came to court of King Henry II. King Henry II loved to collect oddities. This did occur way back in the day before any of us were born, and back then it was known as freaks, which are people with abnormalities such as dwarfism, disabilities, and in a nutshell, all of these people were known as abnormal or freaks, which that's really insulting. Petrus met King Henry II when he was aged 10. At this time, Petrus could not speak, or so we thought. It became clear to the king that Petrus was an abandoned child. Sadly, Petrus spent most of his life on display while being locked in a cage. Like I said, when Petrus was aged 10, King Henry sent Petrus to the dungeons, and the king's physicians began to study Petrus. Now, since Petrus could not speak, you're probably wondering, well, how did he know his own name? Well, when Petrus was being studied by the physicians, he whispered in one of the man's ears his name, which was Pedro Gonzalez. The king, for whatever reason, decided to rename Pedro to Petrus Gonsalves. I am going to be referring to him as Petrus. Due to his wolf-like appearance, due to his rare condition, many people expected him to act like an animal. However, after doctors studied him and took a close look at him, they found out that he was just a normal boy and very scared. At the time, scientists did not know a lot about this rare condition. Petrus was known to be very calm and always remained on his best behaviour. As a child, when he was being studied at age 10, it turned out that Petrus could indeed speak, he was just choosing not to. So once King Henry discovered that Petrus could indeed speak, he gave him a good education, and Petrus studied Latin and learned to read. He was also dressed in the finest of clothes and proved to be quite intelligent for a young boy his age. As a grown adult, Petrus attended royal court like any other man. Now we're going to talk about the real Belle from Beauty and the Beast and Petrus's marriage to her. As a grown adult, Petrus was one of few men in the royal court who was not married due to his appearance. After King Henry II died, his wife, Catherine de Medici, took over the throne and loved to play matchmaking. In other words, she liked to help people find relationships and love. She liked to set people up, and she wanted to make sure that Petrus got married. The Queen Catherine interviewed many girls and found one beautiful young girl who was a servant, and her parents also worked in the castle as servants. The Queen Catherine did not have good intentions for Petrus, but in fact wanted to use him as an experiment. She wanted to know if Petrus had sexual relations with a normal female, would it create offsprings with the rare condition of Petrus, in other words, hybrids as she called them. Turns out that Catherine did not meet Petrus until her wedding day, and she had no idea of his rare condition. Catherine was held captive by the Queen's orders to marry Petrus, so really she had no choice and nowhere else to go. And divorce was out of the question. Though Catherine's reaction to Petrus on their wedding day, I'm sure, was shocking, Petrus was used to it because he always had people staring at him because of his rare condition. Petrus ended up marrying Catherine when he was just age 17 in 1573. Even though Catherine was scared at first, her and Petrus did end up having children. Though there is no evidence to prove this, it is thought that Catherine did grow to love Petrus as her own husband. There is a picture of Catherine placing her hand on Petrus's shoulder, which was known as a sign of affection and support. Though it's not documented, it is a possibility that Catherine did love Petrus, despite his condition, which I would like to believe so. In total, Petrus and Catherine had 7 children. Their first 2 children were healthy baby boys. 4 of Catherine and Petrus's children did have the condition of their father, Petrus. Once the Queen discovered that Petrus and Catherine had more children, she was happy because she got to show off more oddities around her kingdom. So basically, Petrus and his family were property of the Queen. At one point, Petrus and Catherine's children, the 4 children who had hypertrichosis, were each sold separately as pets to noblemen. Which, I mean, that's evil. You're basically separating a family. The only positive in this entire story is that each of the children who had the rare condition that was sold to separate noblemen, they all received an education, a good home, a loving family, financial gain, and lots of food. Worthy to note that Petrus's wife, Catherine, was of, I believe, lower class, whereas Petrus obviously was of higher standing and had financial gain. Petrus and Catherine soon both realised that they were being used as basically a breeding experiment, which that's evil. After years of being used, the couple were finally free under the care of the Duke of Italy, Parma, called Alexander Farnese. Another positive is that Petrus did get to see his children baptised at a church, and him and his wife, along with his 3 normal remaining children, lived their quiet life in freedom. They settled in Italy. Now, in comparison to the Disney film and the real life of Petrus, in the Disney film, the Beast is known to be a prince. However, in real life, Petrus just had a rare condition and was never actually a prince. Petrus died in 1618 in Capodimonte near Rome. At one point, Petrus, Catherine, and his 4 children that had his condition were told to pose for a family photo. However, they asked Catherine and Petrus's normal children to stay out of the photo. From what I can gather from my research, the 4 children with this condition were named Henry, which was Petrus's son, along with his 3 daughters, Francesca, Madeline, and Antonietta. Antonietta was born in 1588, France. Catherine died in 1623. The last known record of Petrus being alive was in 1617 when he was attending his grandson's christening. Petrus and Catherine were married for a total of 40 years. Now, that is the full story of Beauty and the Beast. I hope you found it interesting. I hope I've not just destroyed your childhood. Though it is sad and very tragic, I did find this true story to be very interesting, and I thought it was worth talking about. Now, if you would like me to make this a series, I very well can do. Most of us, including me, prefer the Disney film as opposed to the real life story. But that is the true story of Beauty and the Beast, and I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.